What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about my most recent read, The Animal Man by Grant Morrison compendium here. I thought about getting the omnibus for this for a long time, but I saw this compendium solicited, and I thought, well, may as well hold out because I kind of like the compendium formats. One, because shelf space is kind of at a premium right now, and all of my trades and compendiums still fit in long boxes. I don't know if that's controversial or not to put trades and paperback stuff into just normal standard cardboard lawn boxes, but I do it anyway. So I held out for this. I have never read Animal Man before. All I really knew going into this was that everyone hypes up this run a lot. Some of Morrison's earlier work in the Big Two, and it is a meta book. It deals with a lot of meta narrative stuff, and through the course of this book, Animal Man actually meets Grant Morrison, the author, and that was really fascinating to me. It's not really something that I was unaware of. I mean, even the compendium itself, you can see here, there's the front there. Grant is clearly in the background there. Also on the back is their hands kind of unraveling Animal Man. So it's something that's pretty well known, even for someone who's never read it. This run is talked about all over comic YouTube and social media as one of the best to do that type of genre. And this is a 26 issue run as well as a tale from Secret Origins 39, which kind of delves into how Animal Man came to be. But at the same time, it's also very self aware and it talks about you know, how all these characters are really just, in a way, victims of the writers and artists at the time, and kind of everything that happens in their life, although it's very real to them, is dictated by writers, artists, and editorial staff at large. So, as this starts out, and if I'm not mistaken, I heard online that this was originally supposed to be a four-issue miniseries, and you can kind of see that. The first four issues are pretty self-contained, although there are a couple plot threads that come back into play later on in the story. For the most part, I can definitely see how that four-issue arc that kind of starts the whole series can be read on its own. But this was really good. I love the art in this book. Chaz Truog, I believe, is how you pronounce his name. Does a great job throughout. There's also a couple other artists here, but this style from the late '80s is really, really vibrant and colorful for what it is. No matter what's happening, you always get a really splashy image on the page, something that really jumps out at you. There's always good action scenes. This is a very colorful book. The colors in this book are great as well. No matter what's going on, there's always some kind of really vibrant imagery. He meets Superman here pretty early on. So, if you're someone who's unfamiliar with this character, essentially Buddy Baker, Animal Man, is someone who is connected to animals in a way that he can actually reach out, and in a certain radius around him, he can kind of absorb the abilities of any animal in his general area. So he can fly, even though he doesn't sprout wings. He can absorb the strength of an elephant or a gorilla. He doesn't grow the size of a creature like the Hulk. He still stays in his own human form, but he can do a lot of neat stuff through those abilities. Early on, he gets wounded, and he takes the abilities of either a lizard or an earthworm, and he's actually able to regrow an arm that gets ripped off, which is really neat to see. It's like the third issue, I think, and that was a really it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the series in a really cool way. So this is also a series that is, for the majority, told kind of in single issue storytelling. There are overarching threads, but for the most part, all these issues are kind of one and done. The last 7 or 8 issues of this especially dive into this whole idea that these comic characters are just that, just fictional characters. Nothing in their lives really matter to the extent of what the writer or artist or editor at DC is trying to do at the time. And Animal Man has to come to terms with that in the most horrible way possible. I'm not going to spoil anything here because I do believe everyone should check out this run, even if you don't care for superheroes, even if you don't care for Animal Man, which the majority of us probably don't, especially since the only two runs I ever hear really mentioned are Morrison's and Lemire's. You really need to give this a shot because it's really one of the earliest examples in the Big Two of a meta narrative coming into play. And even something like characters leaping out of panels and saying, "Where am I?" Or there's a certain point where Animal Man is with someone, and Animal Man is seen off panel in the white border of the comic, and the person he's with has no idea where he is. He can't hear him, has no idea what's going on. And all of that stuff, I think, is the highlight of the book for me. There's also some great single issues early on, like the Coyote Gospel in issue 5, which is just something that everyone needs to read. I would say everyone needs to read issue 5, even if you don't read the rest of the book. That and the last couple issues of this are really just great. Make no mistake, this book doesn't get lost in the weeds trying to play with these themes. It is still a very good story about these characters. It's not just a story you're viewing through the lens of the whole meta narrative that they're pursuing here. This is really good. You still feel bad for Buddy when bad things happen. You still feel the stakes, even when you see the hand of the artist come into the panel. You still feel bad when these things are happening. You still feel the same emotions that Buddy feels. And he is not your typical superhero. He goes through this whole arc towards the end after he suffers this loss, and he honestly has nothing on his mind but revenge. And it's really neat to see that from someone who's a card carrying Justice League member. So at a time like this, when you had other series going on that had not yet fully embraced the whole 90s edge, but we were kind of stepping that direction, it's just really neat to see all this come into play. You'll see Buddy encounter everything from aliens to other superheroes to horrible lab grown monstrosities, and it deals with other issues too, like Buddy's realization that he wants to be a vegetarian. He doesn't want to eat meat anymore. And Buddy has a wife and kids. This is not just a decision he can make without them, which he tries to, and there is a lot of conflict there that gets resolved in those later issues. But even little character moments like that really bring this run home for me, and I still stand by the fact that everyone should give this a shot. Maybe try it out online. Don't blind buy anything. I always try to tell everyone. Check out the first few issues online if you're a little bit skeptical. But I think it's a really fun series. And yeah, I had a blast with this. Once again, guys, check this book out. Grant Morrison is a wonderful author. Animal Man is a great character. Honestly, even if the storytelling style is not the same, I'm definitely going to be picking up the Jeff Lemire Animal Man omnibus from the New 52 era soon because I really want to see more of this character. He's definitely becoming a fan favorite of mine already just after this one run. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. See ya.